Welcome back. My name is Jay Oza. I teach, mentor, and coach people on public speaking so that they can give winning high stakes speeches, whether it's for job interviews, business or sales meetings, or even at conferences in front of a lot of people. And one more thing, I am going to be publishing a book probably around end of September 2017 titled Winning Speech Moments. I just wanted to give you a heads up, and I will be covering that in a separate series to go over some of the main ideas for people who are subscribers to this video channel. So this is something for you. Okay? I want to talk about speech tip. And one of the questions that I get asked often is, what is a high stakes speech? I'm sure you're thinking about this. And sometimes the simple answer is every time you're speaking is high stakes. Okay, it's up to you what you consider as high stakes. The rule of thumb that I use is every time you're speaking, it's high stakes. You don't know who's in the audience. And when you don't think it's high stakes, you'll never know what you missed. And you can be ignorant. You know, ignorance is bliss, as somebody once said. And that's what happens. So let me just give you a very simple example of what happened to somebody that's close to me who had to give a speech where she works. And here's what happened. You know, as I just mentioned, I wrote a book on this. So I know what high stakes speaking is all about. I asked her, I said, listen, I am available to help you. Here's what I want you to do. Record a 3-minute video and I'll give you my feedback, and that's it. Never took advantage of it. So today I asked her, I said, hey, by the way, what's going on at work? And she said, oh, I'm a little disappointed. Well, not little, a lot. I said, what happened? I got my review with my boss, and it's the first time in my career I got a good review instead of excellent. I said, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. I said, so what happened? He said the main reason he had to give me a good, because he's got other reports, right? And they all have funding, and I'm kind of weak on the funding aspect of the projects. She's a like a manager. And I said, that was it? He said, yeah, because he said, I had to be, the boss is telling her, I had to be fair. All the other ones have real solid funding, and you don't. And that's the reason. Funding is very important for the entire department. And unless you increase it, I can't give you an excellent. It just wouldn't be fair. And she understood it, and I said, okay, great. So what are you going to do about it? And then it just occurred to me. I said, listen, you had an opportunity when you had that speech that you gave in front of close to 250 or whatever number of people who could have been potential funders of her projects. You didn't sell them that. You had that opportunity and you just gave them dumped information, but you didn't sell that you're the one that they should turn to first for any kind of funding for projects. Introduce your team, make them look great, tell them, look at all the work we have done. These are outstanding team, that you're there to help them. You want to work with them. They're all excited. You should be selling, because that's how you get funding. She didn't do that. And now I don't know what she's going to do to secure funding. It's going to require more work. But the point here is that speech was a very high stakes business speech. She didn't think of it that way. She thought just giving the speech itself was a high stakes. She didn't take it to the next level. That was a sales pitch, a sales speech. She was selling her department, her managerial skills, the outstanding team that she has assembled, and their ability to get the project done on time, under budget, and with impact. You don't get a second chance. Let me repeat again, you don't get a second chance. Every speech you're giving in a business setting is a high stakes speech. You've got to know what you're selling. There's got to be something selling. Because I ran into this in my first speech that I gave, which I couldn't even give. Somebody had to give it for me. When you're giving a speech, like I'm talking, I'm in a power position. Other people are listening. Your job is to make them continue to listen to you. But at the same time, they're making decisions that are completely outside your control. Like, hey, I like to work with this guy. This guy is the kind of guy who really gets me. Somebody else is thinking, this guy really knows how to control the crowd. I can see him being the next manager, the next leader. There are all these decisions that are being made, and they're being made very quickly. You have nothing to do with it. They're making those decisions that you're not part of. And then things just happen, and you think like, oh, they did it because of my work. No, they did it because your speech. Your speech got them to think like, hey, I can see this person running my project. I can see uh, giving funding to this person because I can see that he really knows how to explain things. He really has control of the group. He really knows how to work in a team, and the team that he really knows how to get the job done. You don't get that when you're doing work. You only get that when you're giving a speech. And I tell people, every speech you give is high stakes, especially in the business setting where you're competing with so many people and people are making decisions. They don't get to make decisions, unless somebody's working with you day in and day out, they can get decisions. But after a while, they'll see more of your weaknesses than your strengths. The only time you can really uh, uh, highlight your strength is when you're in front of a lot of people. There's nobody bothering you. They're all listening to you. And if you miss that opportunity to sell, inform, influence, persuade, you can't win. You simply can't win. You're going to get stagnate. You're going to stagnate in your career. So if you're in a business setting or if you're in a career, you need to be good at giving high stakes speeches. If there's anything I can do to help you, let me know, because that investment you make is going to pay off in a huge way. Get a coach. Come to me. Go to anybody. Go to somebody else who's a good coach. Get a coach. Make sure that that speech is going to achieve your objective. And that's what my book's all about. And it's funny that, this person's close to me. She's never once asked, like, hey, what's your book about? Hey, maybe you can help me. Hey, I definitely need your help. Never took advantage of it. There's not much I can do now. I can empathize, but that's not going to help her. She's going to have to figure it out. And you know what? When companies nowadays, when budget gets cut, they have to make decisions. And if you're on the low on the totem pole, you get cut. And a lot of it has nothing to do with your ability to get the work done. Just that you're not good at speaking. You didn't take the speech you had to give us high stakes. So let me close by saying, every speech you're giving in a business setting or in anything is a high stakes speech. Get help. If you haven't done it, get another person to look at it. Get somebody who's really expert and who knows how to create these winning speech moments. That's the title of my book. Again, like I said, this is not an advertisement for my service or anything. Get somebody who you know how to work with, who's good, who really knows what he or she is doing. It'll pay off. The investment you make is nothing compared to the potential that it opens up, the opportunities it can potentially open up for you. Okay? If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or criticism on what I just said here, let me know. And I want to thank you for watching this video and supporting this channel. And good luck with your next speech, and get help. Get somebody to really look at it and help you win. Thank you.